podcast where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow.
Hello.
And we're on Medical Murders Month. Mm-hmm. And this one's rough. So I'm just gonna get into it. No preamble here. You don't need to hear about how my day was stupid. Just know that it was. It was stupid, and everything took 300 years. But the trigger warnings on this are child death and mention of false accusations of rape. So,
I don't like that.
I don't like that. Makes me real mad.
Oh, that makes me real mad.
Yeah, this person's a big piece of fucking shit. So, but heads up.
Okay.
So, I want to kind of present you first with a scenario, like a hypothetical.
Okay.
Not a hypothetical, it happened, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So, imagine your 9-week-old baby, Becky, was just admitted to the hospital because she's having some stomach problems. Nurses and doctors, these are the people you trust with the care of your child. And they tend to her, and you are sent home to care for her later, because it turns out she just has colic. It's not that big of a deal. And she kind of gets the free and clear, she's healthy, she can go home. It's really hard because you've just had twins, and babies, newborns are especially colic is the worst. I don't know if y'all have any experience with it. I had one colicky baby, and it was a very big nightmare for me. It was, you're already exhausted. Your body has just had it, and you just need sleep, and it's not happening. It's not happening for you. It's not happening for the baby. You're also really worried because they're in pain, and as a mom, all you want to do is make the pain stop.
Right.
And so, luckily there's no victim blaming in this case, for once.
Thank goodness.
I looked around to make sure I was still on Earth. But, gosh, a lot of people have said maybe the mom was a little overreactionary taking the baby to the doctor. No. If you think something's wrong, take your kid.
I don't understand the word overreact.
I don't like that word.
No, I do not.
Don't like it.
Unless somebody is blatantly lying with their actions, but I don't think that it's possible to overreact to something.
It's okay to
just a reaction.
Just react.
Yeah.
And, I feel like it's really gaslighty and misogynist, but whatever, it's fine. You're relieved, though, when you get home because the doctor said your baby is okay. But 2 days later, you wake up. You go to get your baby out of the crib, and she is dead.
God, no.
Though riddled with grief and pain, you take your other 9-week-old baby, Katie, her twin sister, to the hospital. There you are greeted by the same nurse that cared for your now deceased Becky. You're grateful to see Beverly, the nurse. She took such good care of little Becky, and now she's going to care for Katie, too. Over the course of her stay in the hospital, Katie stops breathing twice. She is finally brought back from the brink of death, but now she is partially blind, paralyzed, and has severe brain damage. You are devastated, but so thankful for Nurse Beverly's care and kindness that you make her the godmother of your daughter.
What the fuck?
Now imagine your horror when you discover that this nurse, the one who'd been so kind to your family during such a difficult time, killed one of your twins and made the other severely disabled. And it wasn't the first time she'd done this. So today's case is Beverly Allitt, the Angel of Death. She was born on October 4th, 1968 in the village of Corby Glen in the town of Grantham, which is in Lincolnshire, England. And y'all, that's a lot of town names. So there's a village, then there's a town, then there's what's a Lincolnshire? Is it a parish, a county? Your girl's confused.
I don't technically know exactly how to say that word, but I lived off of a road named it, and
Lincolnshire?
We pronounce it in Arkansas Lancashire or Lancaster. But,
no. Yeah. This is Lincolnshire. Lincolnshire, like President Lincoln.
Oh.
Not Lincoln. Lincoln. Yeah. Yeah. No, I need some people from the UK to tell me how their towns work.
Right.
Why so many names?
Because like we have counties, and I'm wondering if maybe it's sort of like a county.
Well, this is how we got a state, Arkansas.
Right.
In the country of the United States.
Yeah.
We're in Carroll County.
Yes.
We live in Eureka Springs, the town.
Right.
So I'm assuming Lincolnshire is like a county or a parish or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm assuming, and I
Yeah.
like to assume, I should have researched this, but I didn't because I suck.
I'm just now curious.
But now I want to know, so please
Yeah.
tell me. Please tell me. She was one of 4 kids, 2 sisters and a brother. Her father worked at a liquor store, and her mother was a janitor at a school. And early in her life, something was off. She was prone to histrionics and kind of melodrama from an early age. She was always trying to get attention for herself. And this could be kind of a case of middle child syndrome. You know, it happens. Kids do that.
I so many serial killers that I have researched have been the middle child. And I'm not saying that that's a
No,
thing
my
across
middle
the
child's
board.
an angel.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's eerie, I guess. That's
Maybe
something
it's just
that they
a
have
lack
in
of
common.
attention, or like the
think it
perceived
is.
lack of attention, something about that. So even if Beverly wasn't hurt, she would wrap her limbs in bandages and fake casts. The smallest childhood scrape or bruise she would play up as though they were far more serious injuries. And y'all, this isn't that unusual.
Right. I was thinking about when I was little, I used to do that.
My youngest, who has autism, he anytime he would get them, like, you couldn't even see some of like his injuries, he would be like, "Mama, Band-Aid," because he just liked having me go, "Oh, poor baby," and like kiss it and put a Band-Aid on it. He
Right.
liked the little ritual.
The process of it.
But most kids, they grow out of this behavior pretty quick, and they're not, you know, it's just they like the little attention. Of course
Yeah.
they do. It's cute, you know. And Beverly just never grew out of it. She struggled with her weight in her teens, and I think that was part of it. I'm pretty sure she got bullied in school.
Same girl.
And so she was always sick.
Oh, because the attention.
Not only the attention, but to escape
Right.
like her meanness
Get
from
out of
her
school.
peers. I did that too as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I was bullied relentlessly until like I was 16. And so I would always be like, "Oh, I'm sick. I threw up." You know, you put the thermometer on the light bulb. Or
Oh,
like
yeah.
rub
I
it,
forgot all about
rub
that.
it really hard.
Oh, man. I forgot about the light bulb trick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't leave it on there
girl.
too long, kids listening, because it'll make your temperature like 300 degrees and
Yeah,
you're dead.
yeah.
That won't work on Mama. No. In fact, just lie and say you have diarrhea. Nobody wants to talk about diarrhea.
And nobody's going to ask to look.
No. It's likely that she had some kind of mental illness like Munchausen's. Now, Munchausen's is an illness where you will either cause yourself to be sick by like drinking weird stuff or hurting yourself, or you pretend to be sick to get attention. Or she could have had hypochondria, which is where you're always worried that you're sick, or it's not even just worry too, because hypochondria is kind of like an umbrella for several different issues. I'm diagnosed hypochondriac.
I was about to say, you're the one to tell us about it.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a function of my OCD. I just I get a funny twinge, and I'm like, "Oh, this is it. I'm dead now."
Yep.
And
This
I
is the
will
last nail in my coffin.
no, I will get sick at my stomach over it. I'll get sweaty. I get really nervous. I'll have a panic attack. But will I go to the doctor? Absolutely not. I am terrified of doctors, hospitals. Good reason.
This
At
month
bad
is
times.
yeah.
This month isn't fun for me. I'm sweaty the whole time, but it's fine. I'll suck it up. No, it's pretty triggering sometimes, but that's okay because I will just suck it up and go. But
I find that the killers within the hospital are some of the most creepy and eerie.
I'll talk about that in a second.
I don't
But
like
with
it.
hypochondria, so you have my end of the spectrum, which is where you're worried that you're sick, but you would rather explode than go to the doctor. But then you have people who go to the doctor for reassurance, and they go very, very often. I do not think she's hypochondriac. She's not going for reassurance. She's going for attention. Hypochondriacs aren't wanting attention. They want relief from their anxiety over their health.
Right.
And, I'm not a a psychologist, so I don't want to, and I did not see anywhere that she had a formal diagnosis in my research. Okay. Some podcasts said that she did, some didn't even mention it. And when I looked at Wikipedia and many news articles and even watched a documentary, man, nobody said for sure. I know she tried later to get declared, criminally insane, but
diminished capacity
didn't happen. So, yeah. Her histrionics once were so intense and her play acting so convincing that she got doctors to remove her appendix, even though nothing was wrong with it. And oh my goodness.
That's excessive.
Not only is it expensive, although I think they have free health care
I said
in
excessive,
the UK.
but yeah.
Oh, yeah, excessive.
Yeah.
It is excessive. She just wanted the attention. She loved it. But y'all, any abdominal surgery is quite a lot to recover from. It's very painful.
Well, I remember as a kid, like a friend of mine being like, look at my appendix scar, or the scar where they took out my appendix. And I remember just being like, I thought everybody was cool. So anything that anybody did, I thought was cool. And I remember thinking for a second, like, oh, I want my appendix taken out.
Oh my God, Willow.
It's really cool.
Y'all help me. Like, Hamburger, help me. What do I do?
I sucked my thumb when I was little just because somebody else did it and I thought it was cool. I didn't want to suck my thumb. I thought it was weird.
Oh my God. I gotta lay down.
I'm sorry.
I'm just one of those
Stupid,
people, number one, I have no idea to this day what is cool. I don't know. So why would I emulate anyone? I don't know that anything's cool.
I just think that people are ridiculously interesting. I think that everyone is beautiful and I think everyone is interesting. And I'm just like, wow.
But I'm not enamored. I'm just like fascinating.
Oh no, I am absolutely enamored with everyone. That's why I get fucked over so much.
I just learned a long time ago that I am the way that I am and I can't change it. And when I try, it's bad. So I'm just going to be whatever the fuck this is.
A mess.
A mess. I am a mess, and that's fine because I'm familiar with it. So so what she did a lot of, she was changing doctors all the time because people were getting suspicious. Even with doing that, it just wasn't enough attention for Beverly. She had to take it further. And so she decided when she was 16, remember when she dropped out of school? She just failed out of school. She was always absent and she was miserable at tests and not particularly bright, if we're going to be honest. And so she went into nursing because of course she did.
What?
Because she's so fascinated and interested in medical procedures and she knows she can get attention that way. Oh. And she's thinking, I'll save lives. That's what she said she wanted to do.
Really?
Yeah, that's not what she did. So from there, right before nursing school, she did a lot of babysitting. There's conflicting stories. I don't think she hurt any of the kids she babysat. I'm just going to lay that out there. It hadn't occurred to her yet to start hurting people other than herself for attention.
Okay.
But it does occur to her in nursing school. She went to Grantham, where she was suspected of smearing poop all over the walls of a nursing home where she was undergoing her nursing training. And Jesus fucking Christ, y'all.
What?
Feces.
What?
Just wiping it everywhere. More than once.
What?
More than once. Here's the thing. If you suspect one of your nursing students is playing with poo-poo, like finger painting with boo-boo on the wall, they don't get to be a nurse. They just don't get to.
Yeah, why was there no action taken and why did it go so far?
This whole case is why did it go so far and why was no action taken every single fucking time.
That's my next case.
And I do kind of have an answer for that, but we'll get to it.
Ugh, it's so frustrating. So, no, anyways. Yeah.
It just seems
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the boo-boo. Yeah.
It just seems like a big red flag of weird and unhinged to me.
Like, I want to know what she was thinking, and I want to know what they were thinking. Like, instead of thinking, like, oh, it might have been a dementia patient or, like, any X, Y, and Z. What led up to them thinking that was her?
Well, what I think is that she made it look like maybe a patient made a mess and she was going to be the heroic one to clean it all up. But it happened too much and people were like, oh, okay, it's actually you.
That's so weird.
I know. So she was frequently absent from her classes, claiming, what else? Illness. Beverly briefly had a boyfriend during her time at Grantham College. Later, when interviewed, he would say that she was a very aggressive woman, prone to lying, dramatics, and shouting. As the relationship progressed, progressed, she became more and more mentally unstable. She would accuse him of raping her, and then after that, faked a pregnancy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, the red flags are all
I
present.
hate those types of people.
I do too. This, of course, ended their relationship, and she never was very interested in romance in the first place.
She just wanted a toy to play with.
She wanted attention. She
Yeah.
didn't want a toy to play with. She wanted attention.
Gotcha.
And when he didn't give her attention, she just flew off the handle.
It's like she's addicted to it because it
Oh,
tends
yes.
to like snowball. It
Yeah,
looks like it like
dramatically.
develops, like it gets bigger and bigger.
It does. Beverly failed exams and missed lots of classes, but was eventually able to pass the exam and was able to secure a job as a nurse at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital in Lincolnshire. The hospital was notoriously understaffed, and this may have been why she was accepted for the job. This would be a fatal error on the part of hospital administration. Everybody wants to blame the hospital. I'm not going to do that. It's not their fault. Like, why would they assume? Maybe they're just like, yeah, she's not the best candidate, but man, that's all we got.
Right.
What are you supposed to do? I just feel so bad for nurses who are just so overworked and so underpaid and so
Nurses have saved
understaffed.
my life so many times.
Same.
Like, I have so many kudos for nurses.
I do too.
Mad respect. Except for this one, of course.
No, she can go to hell. Yeah, because of the short staffing issues and overworked doctors and nurses, Beverly's sinister activities would go undetected for 59 days. She was 22 years old when she got offered the 6-month contract at the hospital in 1991.
22.
Yeah, it's not old
very
enough, is it?
young,
It's very
yeah.
scary. And hey, if you're listening and you're 22, don't take offense. I just think of myself at 22, and I should not have been trusted with like a goldfish.
I shouldn't. Yeah. No, I knew I shouldn't even have car keys at that moment. I was like, I'm footing it this year.
Well, I mean, I did have Will at 23, but man, I did a lot of growing up in that year.
I did.
It's weird. On February 21st, 1991, 7-week-old Liam Taylor was admitted to the 4th ward for a chest infection, and the 4th ward was the children's wing. That's where she was assigned because of fucking course. Though she'd only been working at the hospital for 4 days, Beverly was able to charm Liam's parents, convincing them he would be safe with her. She encouraged them to go home and get some rest, that she would look after their baby all night. The next day, on the 22nd, Beverly reported that little Liam had struggled with his breathing in the night, but she had been able to stabilize him. However, shortly after this report, Liam went ghostly white, and then large red splotches popped up all over his face. He went into cardiac arrest right after the splotches, got severe brain damage from the lack of oxygen, and though they were able to bring him back from the brink of death, it was clear there was no brain activity, and Liam Taylor sadly passed away later that day. And this was Beverly's first victim. Now, one death after the child had come in sick already. I can see the hospital not catching it, but it just becomes so blatant after this one that it like in just rapid succession too. It's just so hideous. On March 5th, just a couple weeks later, Timothy Hardwick, age 11, was admitted to Ward 4 after suffering an epileptic seizure. Timothy had cerebral palsy, and I couldn't find out from my research if this was, like, seizures was something normal for him, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Okay.
And so I'm sure the cerebral palsy and the epilepsy were related, but it didn't present. The epilepsy, I can't even say that word today. The epilepsy didn't present until then, which is really common between the ages of like 8 to 13 are most common for the onset of epilepsy.
That makes sense.
I was 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this case really pisses me off. Yeah, but regardless, Beverly was poor Timothy's nurse, and not long after being left alone with him, she called for the emergency resuscitation unit because he'd stopped breathing. Timothy was unresponsive, and they were not able to bring him back. His death was blamed on seizures, and Beverly had claimed her second victim. Beverly was right there to comfort the grieving parents.
My God.
As she'd done with Liam. It was like part of what it seemed like the part she liked the best.
Was that the parents were grieving and she was
And she
there to
came
help.
in and was so kind and gentle and offered a shoulder and said all the right things that they needed to hear in
That's
that moment.
disgusting.
And I find that part so unconscionable and evil that
Yeah.
I can't hardly.
Yeah.
I don't have words.
That she likes that.
It's
That's what
diabolical.
She likes.
Yeah. I can't wrap my brain
I
around
hope she's
it.
in life, like in prison for life.
Well, we'll get to that. It's some truly sick shit, though.
Oh, I don't like her.
No. 1-year-old Kaylee Desmond arrived at Ward 4 on March 3rd. Look how just one after another. With an upper respiratory infection. On March 8th, she was left in Beverly's care, and that's when she went downhill, even though previously she'd been almost ready to be discharged because she was on the mend. She went into cardiac arrest, but was brought back. Kaylee's parents felt uneasy. They knew something was off, so they transferred their baby to a different hospital where she made a full recovery. Had they not done that, Beverly would have surely killed Kaylee.
Baby girl.
At the other hospital, it was discovered that she had a puncture mark in her armpit,
What?
and there was an air bubble near the puncture mark. Personally, I think this should have been the fucking end of it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Either the hospitals were not communicating between each other.
Yeah.
They thought maybe it was a medical accident. They didn't want the other hospital to get sued for malpractice.
Right.
That shouldn't have been just let go.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been overlooked.
Yeah.
Because air bubbles, she had injected her with air.
I was about to ask that.
And air bubbles to her heart caused her to have cardiac arrest. Luckily, she didn't have any lasting damage, but my God. On March 20th, 5-month-old Paul Crampton was admitted to Ward 4 for a chest infection. Here, Beverly injected the little boy with insulin on 3 occasions, trying to kill him. Once more, the parents wanted him transferred to another hospital, and it was here Paul would make a full recovery. Again, I think after 4 incidents in less than a month, it just should have raised concerns.
Right.
There should have been some systems in place that check these things. Like, I know it was the 90s, but they definitely had computers then. It's just they weren't as sophisticated as they are today, not by any stretch. Files, though, could have been flagged as suspicious. Like, what was the nurse on duty for this? Who was the doctor on duty? What medications? Like, wouldn't you be concerned if these little babies who should be, other than a chest infection, that don't kill you like that?
Right.
Shouldn't it have raised every flag on earth? In addition, the key to the insulin fridge went missing. And Beverly was the last person to have used it. It just seems like the key to the medicine goes missing, and now these kids, like, come on.
I could decorate a whole mansion in red flags.
Oh, it's an ocean of red.
Yeah.
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 But nothing was seen as suspicious. Beverly remained on Ward 4 to hurt and murder more babies. The same day Paul Crampton was admitted to Ward 4, 5-year-old Bradley Gibson was admitted to Ward 4 for pneumonia. On the 21st, Beverly injected him with insulin several times, causing him to go into cardiac arrest twice before he was transferred to another hospital where he too made a full recovery. It's painful shit.
My God.
Those poor babies. 5 years old.
That's terrifying.
That's old enough to be scared, you know?
Oh no, it's terrifying. Yeah. Well, and you also got to think like the long-term stress on the heart. I've got a bad ticker. I know what it's like. Like, there's no telling what they had to live through after that.
It's just terrifying. 6-year-old Michael Davidson was admitted to Ward 4 for an accident involving a pellet gun. I don't have a clear date on this, but it was right around the end of March. Here, Beverly tried to murder him with insulin injections through the IV in his hand. He went unconscious, but was able to be revived, and he made a full recovery.
She's so, like, she's not even choosing victims where it would make sense. Like a pellet gun. Like, he got a BB.
Yeah, it was like on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He just
doesn't
needed a
make
little
any
BB
sense.
extraction, and that's so...
In just a few days, Beverly had tried to murder 3 children. Instead of suspicion, Beverly was regarded as a hero for saving the lives of those 3 children.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because she was there she was resuscitating them as they would come in. So she looked like she was saving them, because that was the plan all along. She relished and luxuriated in all that attention. It's not clear if anyone was even suspicious of her yet, but I don't think so. And they wouldn't be for a while longer. So she continued to harm more children. 2-year-old Yik Hung Chan, also called Henry, was admitted to Ward 4 for a bad fall where he'd had a minor skull fracture. The same day she tried to kill Bradley Gibson on March 21st. Shortly after being left alone with Beverly, Henry stopped breathing and turned blue. He was stabilized, transferred to another hospital where he would make a full recovery. No one was suspicious because it was assumed his head injury had caused him to stop breathing. Well, it wasn't.
God. I'm so glad all these babies are getting transferred, though. Like, thank goodness at least that part is happening.
Yeah. To me, it was likely that Beverly was addicted to not only the attention she received for trying to save these children, but she was addicted to the rush of getting away with hurting and murdering them. She clearly had no intention of stopping. Day after day, sometimes twice in one day, she would try to murder a child.
Jesus.
Children she was tasked with taking care of. Parents trusted her. Her colleagues trusted her. But there she was, just insidiously acting as soon as people's backs were turned. Sometimes she was only left alone, like less than a minute.
That's so fucking creepy.
She was ready. Each one of these was really not meticulously planned, and she had no type of victim, just child. Just child. Do I think she was setting out to murder them? I'm just not sure. I think she wanted to hurt them, and so she could save them. But if you notice, she would help bring a child back and resuscitate them, and then she would do it again.
Yeah.
There was one she did it to the kid 3 times in one day. Just a nightmare.
No, I don't like it.
Her next victim was Becky Phillips, only 9 weeks old. Her exhausted mother had just given birth to twins, Becky and Katie, and Becky was having issues with colic. She would cry and scream in pain all night long, and being good parents, they brought her to Ward 4 because they were concerned for their little baby. Becky and Katie had been born premature, and they were worried something more serious was wrong. Becky was admitted to the hospital on April 1st, 1991. Here she was given insulin injections by Beverly. Becky died at home 2 days later. It was ruled death by SIDS as she died in the night in her crib. And I don't know why this one just gets me, because she's just 2 babies. Just altered their lives forever for nothing other than just attention.
Right.
It's just sick. As a precaution, her twin sister Katie was brought in to be checked out shortly after her sister's death. Once alone with Beverly, Katie went into cardiac arrest, not once, but twice. Both times after being alone with Beverly. She'd been injected with lethal doses of insulin and potassium. Though she was able to be brought back and was transferred to another hospital, it was too late. She'd suffered severe brain damage, was partially blind, and partially paralyzed due to oxygen deprivation. Also, 5 of her ribs had been broken, and one of her lungs collapsed. Now,
sorry for yelling.
Now, before you get excited, those are likely due from the resuscitation efforts.
Oh.
They ain't playing.
Yeah.
When they're trying to save you, they ain't playing.
I remember when I was taught how to give CPR.
You break them fucking ribs if you gotta.
I don't like that. I don't like
They have machines, like CPR machines at hospitals. They would definitely break your fucking ribs, but you'll be alive.
I don't like it. Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable.
And still, no one is suspicious of Beverly.
So did the baby live?
She did, but she was very disabled.
But continued life afterwards.
I'm not sure how long she lived afterwards. It just made me sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, she lived for quite some time afterwards.
Oh, baby.
Not even Katie's parents were suspicious. They made Beverly Katie's godmother because she'd been so caring with them in the care of Becky and Katie. She was a sympathetic ear. She went out of her way to comfort the grieving parents and just saying all the right things and getting them to lower their guard so she could have access to their children, so she could kill them. And I find it so desperately sad and so fucked up. After the Phillips twins, there were 4 more incidents where Beverly was left alone with children and they suffered cardiac arrest, trouble breathing, and a myriad of other strange health issues. It was finally starting to raise a few eyebrows, but it wouldn't be enough in time to save the life of Claire Peck. Claire, only 15 months old, was admitted to Ward 4 on April 22nd for an asthma attack. After being left alone in Beverly's care, Claire went into cardiac arrest, and she was not able to be revived and sadly passed away. This would be Beverly's final victim. In these medical murder cases, it seems to be the most vulnerable that are the victims, the infirm, disabled, elderly, and the very young. People who need us the most, and I think it is a sacred charge.
Right.
And she knew how people relied on and trusted nurses and doctors, and she took advantage of this, all the while chasing the high of attention and praise the deaths of these children brought her. She has to be one of the most depraved and cold people I've ever covered on this podcast. There's something so detached about killing someone with an injection and just watching as they slip away. That's what I find so chilling about these particular cases, is the callousness,
Right.
the coldness. With other killers, it's just different, somehow more visceral. But just the complete lack of empathy or kindness towards the victims, as though the killers don't even see them as human. I know with the last guy, Dr. Death, he straight up confessed to hating the elderly.
Right. Right.
But I don't think Beverly even thought that far ahead or thought that deeply about it. I just think she didn't care.
She didn't care at all.
She only cared about herself. She didn't care about the lives of these children. She just liked the attention more than she cared about them as people. It makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
Doctors and nurses on Ward 4 after Claire's death got together and they expressed their concerns. They started to notice the pattern that finally that any time a child was left alone with Beverly, that child died. So they forwarded their concerns to the administrator of the hospital. Blood tests were run on Claire Peck, and it showed an abnormal amount of insulin and potassium in her system. And after this discovery, police were called.
Good.
Right?
How many has it been? Like 8, 9?
11.
God.
With 4 that she killed. It's vile.
I'm just
vile.
in shock that it went that far.
Me too. Claire Peck was exhumed so a proper autopsy could be performed. Here they found lidocaine, which is something given to adults who are having cardiac distress, never given to children for that purpose, and not in the dosages. So it was there to mess up her heart. It calms an erratic rhythm. So if you give somebody too much, their heart will just stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the police were like, oh, foul play. Yeah. After an investigation from both the hospital and police, Beverly Gale Allitt was arrested. She was charged with 4 counts of murder, 11 counts of attempted murder, and 11 counts of causing grievous bodily harm. Allitt entered pleas of not guilty to all the charges, and on May 28, 1993, she was found guilty on each charge and sentenced to 13 concurrent terms of life imprisonment, which she is serving at Rampton Secure Hospital in Nottinghamshire. Oh, I said that so fancy and good.
Yeah, you did. Nottinghamshire.
Nottinghamshire. Fucking brilliant, as the Brits would say. Allitt reportedly told friends before her trial that she would never go to prison. After 1 week in prison, she refused to eat or drink, and she was moved to Rampton Secure Hospital. 2 leading experts, forensic psychologist Jeremy Coyd and criminologist Elizabeth Yardley, went over her mental state when she was arrested and concluded that she was not mentally ill and should be in prison, not the hospital. Allitt reportedly admitted to all of her 13 crimes in a failed application to remain at Rampton Secure Hospital and permanently avoid prison. None of the families of Allitt's victims had been told of her full confession in the failed application. So, yeah, she's eligible for parole as of November 2021. And she's been in and out of the mental hospital. I don't think she's ever going to see the light of day again.
Yeah, no.
No. I think she'd have to move to Antarctica because people would rip her to pieces.
I'm surprised people don't mess with her in prison because...
Well, she's in a hospital.
Oh, right. That's probably why she's doing this, because she doesn't want to be in a prison, because if other inmates find out what you have done to children...
They'll kill you. Mm-hmm. And, the thing is I disagree. She is definitely mentally ill.
Yes, I was about to say that.
No one of sound mind would do this
No,
sort of
I was about to say,
shit.
they should definitely, give her the help.
However, there's the legal definition of insane, and she didn't meet it. Because she knew what she was doing was wrong.
Right.
She just didn't fucking care.
Yes.
Yeah, so fuck her, fuck that, my God.
I can't imagine being that obsessed with getting attention.
I don't even want attention.
I was about to say, I'm the opposite. What's the opposite of that?
Shy as fuck. I'm not shy, I'm just awkward, and I get overwhelmed really easily.
Yes.
And since I have a really shitty view of myself in the inside of my head, when someone gives me a compliment, my knee jerk is, why are you lying? What do you want?
Right.
And of course that's bullshit. I'm trying to get better at it.
Right.
Imposter syndrome is a bitch.
Yeah.
It's a bitch, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm doing better.
I'm still trying to get my courage to do a live show, and I know that's going to be within a year or two, but whatever, I don't know. But yeah, I still to this day, I think I would just collapse, faint at the fright of it all.
Oh no, I'm fine with that.
I can't.
I just disassociate.
So scared.
I just disassociate.
I'm so scared.
I pretend I'm someone else. That's what I do. So now it's time for business time.
Is it business time?
It sure is. It's the time for business. Yeah, indeed. So, first of all, I want y'all to follow me on TikTok. I'm making cute little videos. I'm making stuff, and I want you guys to see me make it. So if you're...
Oh, I put cruelty up on the new app.
I'm getting to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you skipping ahead.
My bad.
Hush it up over there. Wolves and Wine is the name of my TikTok. Also, I'm on Threads, Lillianasterios. Also, Cruelty is now on Threads as well. Is it in our link tree yet?
No, but I will put it in our link tree.
It will be by the time you hear this.
I have one too.
Yeah, you just follow us on there. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know yet.
We have a Patreon. It's really great. We do all kinds of bonus episodes and bonus content. You never know what we could do, but at least once or twice a week, we throw new things up there. And I'm going to tell you, I follow a lot of, that's me dropping my shit, by the way. I follow a lot of podcasters on Patreon. I'm not trying to brag, but I don't know anybody that uploads bonus content every week.
Oh, really?
No.
I have no idea what other podcasters are doing. I have no clue.
We doing the mostest.
Good.
Yeah, bitch, we are. It's true. We work very hard because we love you guys. And we love what we do.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to come over to Patreon. We have everything from $1 tier and up. And so we do bonus content for all those tiers. It's not just one. I don't have a tip jar. You will get content if you sign up for our Patreon. We have a great month of cases coming up that we cover exclusively there. Go check it out. The link is in our link tree, or you can click the link, support this show, or you can Google Patreon Cruelty, and we will pop up that way as well. One last thing. I'm doing tarot readings, y'all. I've been doing tarot for nearly 30 years. Have yet to encounter someone who didn't resonate with. I try really hard. I meditate and shit an hour before I do the reading. And these readings are 3 to 5 page write-ups. And I get I get in depth. I get in depth with you. And I try and be encouraging because, sometimes you're going to pull a nasty card, like the Tower card. Nobody likes when that thing shows up. You're like, oh, good. Thanks. I just need everything to go to shit. But it's not always what it means. And sometimes there's a silver lining. And so I try and be really positive because nobody wants to hear bitch, you fucked up, dump him. You know what I mean? So I'm kind, though firm. And Maris does star charts, and I'm kind of doing a combo on these. A star chart is Maris will take a day. It could be your anniversary, your birthday, whatever. And he paints an old-time illustration of the placement of the stars on that day and time that's special to you. We've done everything for death anniversaries to wedding anniversaries, to the day you met your sweetheart, to birthdays, to the day somebody adopted their dog. We can do them for anything, and I'm doing a special on readings combined with a star chart. My email will be in the description. Hit me up. because I love doing readings. They're very fun. That's all the business I had, though. And if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, please know that I appreciate it so much. And when you tell your friends, like, hey, go listen to Cruelty. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It makes like sunbeams beam out of our faces. We get all shiny
And my
and
butt.
happy.
Like, there's just so much sunbeams, I can't contain them. They're flying everywhere. I don't know what's wrong with me. Also, join our Discord. Yeah, it's true. I gave
It's a
away a
good
Patreon
place.
subscription for people joining the Discord, and hey, I may do it again. I'm feeling froggy. I may jump. You don't know. I'm exhausted, delirious, and insane today. So
Same.
I just don't know where I am. Where am I? I can't talk. I'm going away now. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/Cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.